Man United with a very dominant performance there today. We looked very comfortable, but obviously it's against Luton. We cannot get carried away. Dominant performance. We looked so comfortable in that game. They made it very easy for us to dictate that game, get control of the game. They sat back in a back five, a narrow back five. We were able to very easily exploit uh, exploit them, get through them, play around them, and create a lot of chances. We see us several times in positions like this, and we'd see Harry Maguire usually on the ball. Today, I would say he got on the ball quite well, but sometimes took a bit too long on it. And the number one thing that we were always trying to do today was just play that switch out onto the left hand side. You could see that Garnacho would usually pin the right wing back very deep, and sometimes that right wing back definitely for Luton was one of their weaknesses today. We were able to really get a 2v1 overload here with Garnacho and Reguilon double teaming on this one right wing back. Obviously, their winger would come out and help at times, but we were really able to just keep pestering that defense, constantly playing that long ball out wide, constantly trying to use the space that was given because Garnacho and Reguilon were in so much space on that left hand side. And what was good about having Garnacho there was the wing back would give him too much. The wing back was very poor at marking him and staying tight to him. Garnacho could very, very easily just run past him and dribble past him and get cut inside, go down the line. There were times when the wing back won that 1v1 battle, but Garnacho did enough to create enough havoc and also did well in terms of positioning to get Reguilon involved and get him getting a lot of crosses and whatnot into the box. We also saw that on the on Rashford and Dallow's side, but it was mainly dominant on that left hand side of their team, and it was their weakness. We just kept on exploiting that, and we created a lot of chances. We created one on the right hand side with Hoyland, where he had to just quickly on there. He was unable to adjust to the deflection, and his shot was easily saved. There were a couple of other chances as well when we played in Garnacho, who missed it. When Anthony played in Rashford, and he missed his shot. So we were able to exploit them very, very easily. We cannot get carried away with this though, because Luton are a team that will always just defend deep, sit narrow, and they have a back five, but they play that very, very narrow. As you can see, all the back five is very narrow here. It gives the wingers and the wide players so much space and time to attack them and get crosses in and play the ball through, which we exploited very well today. We saw Eriksen and Bruno in this sort of middle position here when Ericsson was before he got injured. They saw them occupying that sort of left deeps in a channel, whatever you want to call it, and they would keep trying to play passes out here or here, or getting if they were further wide, they would be able to get crosses into the box. We saw that quite often. That was quite something that looked rehearsed, something that looked like was on from the training pitch that we wanted to do for in the game. But one criticism I have to have is that I'm still not seeing that line breaking pass through the midfield from any of our midfielders, and is a problem because in the tougher games, we're not going to be able to exploit and break down defenses as easily as we were today. That most defenses aren't going to be as easy to penetrate as Luton. So we need players who are going to play that zipped pass through the midfield and with pace into the feet of one of our attackers in the middle of the park, and we still lack a player who can do that. So what I'm trying to refer to here is maybe McTominay making a quick movement, dropping in there, and you see Fernandez or someone zipping a pass into him there. And then what McTominay can do is then he can maybe quickly move that there or into Hoyland or whatever, whoever's available. That's something that we need to develop and something that we need to work on the training pitch. And maybe it means that we have to go to the transfer market and buy a midfielder who can do that. Because it's something that we need to learn how to do, and we need to learn how to do it fast. And it's not just Bruno or Ericsson in that position. We see it a lot with McTominay coming in there, Mount coming in there. There are opportunities for that line breaking pass to open. Seeing this like a scenario here where these uh, two uh, two Luton players are quite far apart. You could split that defense very easily with a fast paced ball on the ground. And as I said, we need to learn how to do that because there were times in the game where our players were in good positions and were able possibly to make that pass happen, but they opted to, instead of going straight for that line breaking pass, they opted to play maybe a pass backwards, roundwards, and then go around to the wingers or something. And it's that's that method of, instead of going through the midfield and cutting the midfield, going round is obviously a lot longer and more predictable. It's easy for defenses to deal with that rather than a quick, unexpected ball right through the middle of the park, because that will cause flurry, cause panic. It will take a lot of players out of the game. Instead of that, we saw a lot of Bruno trying to play passes into these channels, Ericsson trying to play passes into those channels, in behind the defense playing. You see Maguire switching long balls from here out to Garnacho, um, and then Bruno and Ericsson were trying to do that, but in the opposite direction, maybe onto the right hand side. Uh, and to be fair, it worked in this game. We exploited them well, but we need to learn how to develop that line breaking midfield splitting pass so that we can learn how to break down tougher opponents and teams who are obviously going to be a lot tougher to play than Luton. Into some individual performances, I'm going to talk about Marcus Rashford real quickly. He looks a lot better when he plays on the right hand side, because he no longer has to take a player 1v1 and try and cut inside, maybe get a shot off, or try maybe a difficult dribble. The angles are easier for him to maybe play a pass inwards or get a cross in, use the fullback. It's a lot easier for him to just take time on the ball and find a pass and use his technical ability rather than his unpredictability and explosiveness, whatever. Because that's the part of him that right now is he's lacking confidence in. But we did see when Anthony came on, he did try and run at players. He did try and get into the box. He needs to learn how to. He needs to try his best to get that confidence back. And hopefully today will be a good boost. He got like the assist today. Good finish from Lindelof, obviously. One thing also was that we were a little bit slow on the ball today. I think players like Harry Maguire took a bit of too much time on it. In a game like that, it's okay against Luton, but we need to learn how to speed things up in order to break down more secure low blocks and more secure teams. Nothing really much else to say. Everything today was quite simple, but quite still is encouraging. We can gain momentum from that game. So I'm going to go straight into the player ratings. Banana 6.5, steady game, made a good save, completely solid. Dallo a 7 and Reggie on a 7 as well. Energetic, got up, overloaded the wings. Maguire a solid 6.5, defended okay. Lindelof 7.5, defended okay as well, but got the most important thing. He got the goal. Ericsson a 6, unlucky to get injured. Hopefully he will be back soon. He had a good game though up until the injury. McTominay a 6, didn't really notice him, but we won and he did a roll. Fernandez 6.5, a bit better than average, a bit better than what he's been performing like usually. Nice to see that. Rashford a 6.5. I liked him on the right hand side. Looked way more energetic. Looked like he would break down the defense. Good play from him. Garnacho a 6. Tried. Was our only real attacking outlet on the wing. Nice and energetic, but looked like the game was a bit tough for him. Hoyland a 6. Tried hard. Good performance. Ismail 6.5. Probably one of his better performances from Man United. Anthony 6.5. Looked very energetic and looked very creative when he came on. Should have got at least 2 assists. Martial 6, but again looked energetic. Looked like he could run again. Looked quite fit. Varane 6 was steady and did a job. We cannot get carried away by that performance today. Hopefully, players like Rashford can build on that and we can grow as a team. I want to see better performances than this in the next upcoming games. It was just Luton. They're not they're quite an easy team to play against. They give us the ball, they sit back, they defend deep, they defend narrow. It wasn't too difficult to create a lot of chances, but we need to use this as momentum and use this as motivation to go into the other games and try and perform at the best we can.